So let's talk about the state of cybersecurity. So I'm not going to drill into statistics and facts all this the whole time, but I do think it's instructive and appropriate to start by sharing some information about the statistics. So the first thing is the 75% were done by external actors. And I like to bring that up because I think that in some circles, there's either the myth that no one really outside of the organization is trying to get in, that really they're working on, you know, Target and Home Depot and whatever. But like really when you're at smaller business, your biggest risk is an internal actor, a disgruntled employee or something doing something wrong. Now, clearly a quarter of the time that is the issue. But 3/4 of the time, that's not the issue at all, that it's somebody on the outside. And I think when we think about, you know, the way I like to think about cybersecurity is like I think about physical security, right? We own locks on our doors at our homes, and we're really trying to protect against somebody that might be in the area who might want to get into our house and take our stuff. So when we come home, what we left that was there hopefully is still there when we got back, except for what our kids ate out of the refrigerator. So that's great. But in the cybersecurity world, we need to protect against the entire globe. A person with an internet connection in Ukraine is just as much, or some might argue more of a risk, than somebody that has a broadband connection in Essex, Connecticut. So it's a different way of thinking about security, and it means that we have to be more vigilant. And in particular, I think that's why we've seen a big increase over the last decade in external people stealing data. So that's the 75%. I think it's an important thing to note. The next thing to note is 81% of those external attacks were done with weak or stolen passwords. So 60%, if you just do some quick math, of all the breaches were done by getting your password. So we'll talk about how they get your password, what they do with your password, and that's also why it's important and why I know sometimes it can be irritating, but why we need to have passwords that are secure, that are changed periodically. And so that's the big reason behind that, right? Because your security is only as strong as your weakest link, and in most cases, passwords have been the weakest link. So we got to take care of that. Healthcare and financial are the biggest individual targets. So that's a big thing to note. We're obviously directly in that space, so we need to pay attention to that. And finally, when U.S. Cyber Command did a survey working with Price Waterhouse, they discovered that 77% of the people they surveyed had a cyber incident. So not only is there a potential threat, not only is it global, not only is it external, but it's happening a lot. And I think that's really the message that I'm just trying to convey with this information, okay, that this is real and we need to pay attention to it.